Well, okay, here we go. Now I'm actually muted. I do apologize. This is a Seattle Black veteran. How are you? This is your man. Yes, it is I, and I am him. Look at the beard. Yeah, no, I grew it a minute ago. It's all good. Let me see here. What the heck's going on? Okay, it's all good. Yeah. Okay, so what I got you here for today is actually to talk to you about Veterans Burial. A lot of people don't mention this. What's going on? Sorry about that. A lot of people don't talk about this, yes, and it really needs to be addressed. Um, and that is veterans burial. And the reason why I bring this to you is this. I'll tell you the story here. I met a veteran a little while back ago. This veteran had served two tours in Iraq. Um, Along with him serving two tours, he came back home and eventually had a little baby girl. Uh, and unfortunately, on the around pardon me, around the early part of December of last year, prior to Christmas, this veteran passed away at 40 years old. Okay, so the veteran passed away at 40 years old, and we're thinking maybe it's a heart problem. It had to be something. We're thinking that happened to him while he was serving his tours in Iraq. Okay, so this could be the probably cause of the soldier's demise or passing away, unfortunately. Okay, so the reason why I bring these up to you is I have these questions for you. Did you serve? Have you ever served? Did you go overseas and serve in any wars? If so, have you went and got checked out, a doctor's exam after leaving those wars, after departing from the military? Have you went and did your physical? If you have, okay, great. My question is also, have you went and applied for any veterans benefits that um, are actually what are yours, rightfully yours, your benefits to the service? So, having those benefits, if you have went and applied, if you did not, then my next question is these. I got several for you. We're going to get into the who, what, when, where, how, and why, because you need to understand this. What will happen to you or the remains of you if you pass away? What arrangements have you made? If you haven't made them, we'll get into the who. Who is going to take care of that? Where have you planned on where you are going to have your last remains placed? Why, you ask? Because if you don't have this taken care of already, it's going to cause a great strain on your family. All right. Now, this soldier had a kid. This child was born after he came back from the wars, both wars that he served. Now, the kid is now needing special attention. So now, since this soldier did not go for any of his benefits once he passed away, how is the child going to be taken care of? Right now, the child's grandmother is taking care of her, which is cool. It's family. But now the grandmother is asking all these questions about how is she going to take care of this? Who should she ask? Who should she inquire to is going to help her get this? And the reason why I bring this up, family, is because that's a lot of burden on the family if none of that's taken care of, and you have a child that needs special care. The reason why he didn't do it is because he says he makes enough money, he doesn't have to worry about this. My thing is always to have a safety net and always need to worry about this. What's going on when with your remains? Where do you want to be buried? How is your children going to be taken care of? All right. This is very important. Now, I'll tell you this because one thing you will not have time to do is start pulling out manuals and inquiring or going about this long reading exercise to understand what is your burial rights. Automatically, you will be accepted into a military cemetery. But I want you to understand this as well. In some of these military cemeteries, there is a long waiting list to actually get in and be a and actually have your remains placed there. So you're going to have to be cognizant of that. It's not going to happen right away. So then the question you're going to have to ask is, if you did this earlier, a year, 2 years prior to any situation, you would probably have your burial site secured. Now, I'm not getting on anyone about this because I'm guilty of it as well. I haven't went and got my remains properly placed away to where um, when I do pass away, that would be an easy road to truck to get me in my proper burial place. Okay. So this is some of the things I want you to worry about. Now look at here. I don't want you to worry about. I want you to think about. Pardon me. So you can get these taken care of. Make that a part of your New Year's resolution. Is that you will get this burial situation taken care of now. So later on, your family will not be under the stress in order to get you taken care of. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up Susan. She's been through this, and and still going through this right now. So we're going to talk with a person who's actually going through this, and what are some of the uh, hurdles that she's facing. Now, before we get there, I want to give you this little bit of information that's going to help you get your answers. Go to a cemetery, talk to the funeral director there. If it's a military, whichever one, talk to the funeral director there. A majority of funeral directors have been through this process before, and they will give you a wealth of good advice. If you went and served in the foreign wars, call the VFW. They will have a person who can help you with your process of getting um, all this taken care of. Now, the VFW, once I talked to them, I told them what the funeral director, well, Susan told them what the funeral director told her, and VFW concurred that this is the proper thing to do. Now, let me see here. I know I put some pages up here that I want you to see because you're going to have to fill out a form for the flag burial rights. You're going to have to also fill out, let me see if I can grab these forms for you real quick. And I apologize. I want to get all this done before we get Susan up on our podcast here. I mean, on our live here. And let me see here. And scroll down. And she can, I'm telling you, she's going to give you a wealth of information. So already what I'm telling you is, check with the VFW. Also check with the funeral director. They will get you on point of what you need to do and how you need to do things. One of the things that's going to be very important, I'm looking for this piece of paperwork. It's going to be a DD 214. It's going to be important. So if you have a DD 214, have copies so that uh, your wife or whoever's going to be, or your husband, whoever's going to be in charge of properly getting your remains taken care of, that piece of information, your DD 214, is going to be very important. Also, let me see here. I'm still grabbing for these paperwork. Yeah, forgive me. I had two doctor's appointments this morning. Well, I had one, but it, it took a while. So let's see. Come on. And so I got back here, and I'm not making any excuses. I'm just telling you, Seattle veterans screwing up right now. Okay, so let me get to these forms real quick, and I'm going to tell you what these forms are, so you can see them. I want you to look these forms up. All right. So one of the forms is going to be it's going to be VA form 40-1000. Let me see if I can just pull this page up over here, pull my screen up over here so you guys don't have to worry about this. Share screen. Okay, let's see if this is the right one. Oh no, we don't want that one. Okay, let's see here. Let's see which one I can get here. I apologize. Allow Google. Okay. Open settings. Whatever, man. Stop playing. Let me see here. I'm gonna get you the right form here. God bless it. I'm telling you. I do apologize here. Let's see here. Okay, not that one. Not that one. What the heck? Where is these screens coming from? Let's see. I'm just gonna say share this screen. Oh yeah. Seattle Black Veterans struggle streaming. I might even put the screen up, man. It's just getting on my nerves here. Come on. All right, let's go over to the screen here. Let me get you back out of here. We don't want this up here. Let's see if it'll go away. Okay, this screen is giving the Seattle Black veteran a hard time right now. So actually, what I'm going to do is just explain to you what this form is. It's a form, a VA form. Write this down or put it in your memory banks. 40-100007. And this page is going to be an application for pre-need determination eligibility for burial in a VA national cemetery. That's what that form is for. This form, I'm pretty sure when you talk to your funeral director, that they will be probably letting you know that form is something you're going to need. Geez, I don't know what this screen here. Let me stop this screen. Get out of there. Okay, so that form, remember that 40-100007. That one's there. You will need. Let me see here. Also, here's another form for you. This is a notice of evidence necessary to submit a claim for burial benefits. And that form is 21P-530EZ. Okay. Check that form out. Also, there's another form. I'm sorry, I'm popping these up on here. And I think this one's going to be for your flag. Let me see, application for United States flag for burial purposes. Okay, and there's a form for that. That is 27-2008. Okay, that form, those three forms on top of your DD 214 is going to be very important. Okay. What happens now? The guide for your family or next of kin to follow a passing. Okay. There's a crisis hotline for that that can give you help with that. And that crisis hotline is 253. This is here in Washington State. Okay, so look up your crisis hotline because this is going to come important. If your son or your daughter or your loved one ends up passing away in the middle of the night, how are you going to get their remains taken care of at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? So up here in Washington State, this is the number. It's 253-999-3327. Okay. They also have a chaplain's number up here you can call if you're needing chaplain's help, and that is 909-224-2245. And this chaplain, that is at extension 116. That's here in Washington State. So you can get that looked at and taken care of. Okay, so let me get Patty. Sorry, I'm slipping like a bad transmission. Let me get my girl Susan up here. And I want you to hear from her account. We'll ask questions. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments section so we can hopefully help you with some answers while we have you here. Let me see here. Nobody's on board. That's okay. All right, let's call Susan here, get her point of view here. I think she'll give you a wealth of information. Please call Susan.
Calling I.
Okay. Here we go.
Hello.
Hey, Susan, how are you?
Fine.
All right, this is your band, David. I got you on live on this YouTube channel. So,
Okay.
we were talking, I was telling people, about how to handle their, what are they going to need to do when properly burying their loved ones. But I was
Uh-huh.
also stressing the point that if a person's in the military, what do they need to do? I stress that people should make sure they try to get any benefits they deserve, whether it's 10% or whatever, because
Exactly.
it's going to make it a little easier when it comes to dealing with the remains. Now, I'm going to just briefly go over what I talk about, and we're going to ask you some questions from the top.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So, what I was telling people was this is that waiting uh, and not getting your burial plan situated earlier in your life is going to make it hard in your afterlife on your loved ones to get those issues
Mhm.
taken care of, and especially if, like your son, it rest in paradise, passed away at age of 40.
Yeah.
So after serving 2 wars in Iraq, 2 tours, and I'm in agreements with you because we talked about this before. I think
Mhm.
something happened to him while he was over
Right.
in the while he was serving in the war. Now, what's making it hard for you, and I know it's harder. I'm gonna ask you those in a second. Is since this wasn't taken care of, it's a lot of procedure you have to go through. And I was expressing to people too is that uh, even if you are disabled and you happen to pass away, if you haven't taken care of this and you want to be in a memorial cemetery, which is a military cemetery,
Mhm.
you may be on a waiting list for quite some time before you get in there.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
true.
so people need to understand, what do I do with the remains? How do I, what I do in the meantime? So let's start from the top with yourself.
Mhm.
Um, uh, Once you found your son, uh, it was in the evening time, right?
Right.
Okay, so fortunately for you, you had county was able to pick up your son's remains and
Yeah.
remove them from your property, so you wouldn't have to uh, be sleeping overnight with his remains in the house.
Ooh,
And
exactly.
yeah, and on top of that, he has a daughter. So
Mhm.
tell me, what has been your journey as you've been going through this? What has been the most difficult parts for you?
Well, the most difficult part is, of course, I don't have my son anymore, and it was
Yeah,
so suddenly and
yeah,
so unexpected. I mean, the night before, he was fine,
yeah,
and so we never suspected anything. And then he didn't show up for dinner, and my younger son went downstairs and found him, and he had passed away.
Sorry about that,
And
Jane.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, we were all in shock, and we called the police,
Okay.
and which is what you have to do when someone passes.
Yeah. Call the
And
police.
yeah,
Yeah.
called the police, and they
Good.
came over, and they check the house and check everybody out.
Yeah.
And they county did remove his body because they wanted to do an autopsy because he was so young and he was okay the day before, so they of
Yeah.
course want to do an autopsy. So they did remove the body. But I've also had the experience of someone passing and an autopsy was not ordered, and then you're
Mm.
responsible for removing that body from
Yeah.
your home.
Yeah.
And if it's 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, you're going to have to find a funeral parlor to do that.
Yeah.
And so what I learned from that was that if you pre-plan your death, actually,
Yeah.
um, you will have someone to call to take the body out of the house.
Yeah. And that's important.
And that's important because it is very shocking,
Yeah.
and especially if there's children involved.
Yeah. And another thing I want to add to that is that if the body is actually removed and held at that funeral home, you have to make sure that that funeral home is not charging you daily to keep that body refrigerated until you find out
Right.
what you want to do with the remains. So
Yeah, usually what they'll do, well, if you have a cremation, they'll call you and you pick up the cremation. In my son's case, he was a veteran. And so the funeral home was a great resource.
yeah,
They said they would set up, the funeral,
okay,
and you can pick a military cemetery if you like.
yeah.
And also, they're a good resource for what forms you need to fill out to get this done.
Okay, yeah, and that's what I was explaining earlier. Is that some of the forms, like you were filling out, was for the UN United States flag over
Hmm.
with them.
Right.
Um, Also, what was it form I was picking out here earlier? I was talking about, and that was okay. We did an application application for pre-need determining eligibility for burial in a national cemetery. So
Hmm.
that form, and along with the DD 214, I was letting
Right.
people know they're going to have that form as well. And so when you hooked up with the VFW, um,
Hmm.
they it sounds like to me that they were very helpful.
Yeah,
Um,
they were very helpful. They could lead you in the right direction. They actually told me that even though he died of what he died of was basically a embolism,
yeah,
and it could have been caused by exposure to burn pits in Iraq.
exactly,
And
exactly.
they show you how to get proof of that and to go through that system.
Yeah, and actually, that list, if you guys are wondering, is the illnesses are now presumptive. So there's
Hmm.
presumptive lists that can occur, which we're talking about. A lot of it sounds bronchial. Uh, uh,
Yeah, a lot of respiratory
yeah,
diseases. Heart disease can also be caused by exposure to pollutants.
yeah, we did.
Really anything that you would need to get an autopsy report. And
Mhm.
I don't know, in the county that we live in, you have to fill out a form online and wait for them to call you, and then they will ask you for the fee,
Yeah,
and then they get the autopsy report to you, and that can take a little while because a lot of these autopsy facilities are backlogged.
yeah. Also, I want to say, um, okay, so let me say this. Okay, Susan was talking about the presumption. So some of these are asthma that's diagnosed after service, cranial is it brock
Bronchial, yeah.
bronchial. I'm having a problem with that, and obstruction of the pulmonary is a pulmonary disease, COPD. um,
Mm-hmm.
chronic, um, was it chronic asthma, emphysema, um, all these words that I can't pronounce at all. So go into the VA.gov and go to presumptive illnesses. These illnesses are now presumptive. Type it in and it will give you a list of presumptive illnesses. Now, I say this to the veterans or whoever's listening is that if your loved one has not uh, got any uh, diagnosis after coming back from serving in the war, please strongly urge them to go and get a what do you call it? I'm losing my mind today. Go and get a health screening from your primary doctor.
Right.
Get you one as soon as you get back. If you haven't yet filed for any kind of necessary benefits, I strongly urge you to do that because I would say this because when your son passed away, he has a little daughter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if he was already had her or already had her as a dependent on here, I do not believe that we would have to worry about her getting any kind of assistance because she's a
Right.
special needs, beautiful little girl, special needs, a very beautiful little girl. And so now, I think Susan is having to struggle to make sure that she gets the proper benefits, health care that she needs. Because on top of that, from what I understand, is that she was born after he came back from both of those wars.
Yeah.
And now she has special needs. And I want to, yeah, my thing is this I'm gonna blame it on the VA, the military, until they prove different. All right. Is the
Yeah.
reason why she has these issues.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, okay, so after you got the body sent over, um, who was responsible for the cremation?
The cremation was a funeral home that we had chosen,
Oh, great.
and there's many of them out there.
Mhm,
My really strong suggestion for everyone, veteran or not veteran,
mhm.
is to fill out a pre-funeral paperwork with a funeral company.
There
There's
you go.
several of them out there, and you fill that paperwork out, and you don't have to pay anything at the time of filling that out.
Great.
And they put it on file, and when you pass, your loved ones just have to call that funeral company,
Yeah.
and they will come and pick up the body. They will take care of the cremation. They will do the whole thing, and
Right.
that's already done. All your family has to do is make that phone call.
There you go. See, so that's why I say, if you have a loved one who's passed, especially if they're military, you don't have time to go looking through manuals, go, uh, you need answers right away,
Hmm.
because everything is pretty much on a time record
Right.
here of getting things done. And I concur with you, telling people to get in there. Oh, by the way, if you're not sure what military cemeteries there are, go to va.gov and type in military cemeteries or VA cemeteries, and they'll take you to each state. You can click on each state, and they'll give you that map to what's where. And again, like Susan says, whether you're a civilian or military, it is suggested you get on this like now,
Yeah.
because your loved ones, I mean, because I'm sure once you discovered this, I mean, you had a boatload already on your mind, let alone how are you going to take care of his remains and
Right.
make sure his daughter is taken care of. Um,
Yeah.
that's a lot. That's a lot. And I had to give
It
you
is a lot. Yeah, we didn't know who to call. We finally called the police,
right.
and they got the ball rolling there. And because the autopsy was ordered, they actually took the body and they actually delivered it to the funeral home. But if no autopsy is ordered, it's up to you totally
Yeah.
to disperse of the remains. And, at 2 o'clock in the morning, your options are limited.
Yeah, and I say this for the veteran, if you, still alive, call the VFW, especially if you served. Call the VFW and start talking with one of their sponsors there that will tell you exactly
Mhm.
what you will need prior to all this occurring. Believe me, I'll be making that call this week, and getting it
Right.
done because I don't want to put any extra stress, and I need to make sure that when you pass away, that your monies are going to the right place and not the wrong
Mhm.
place. Because there can be, I'm just throwing it out here, there can be a situation where you have a significant other that you are not long haven't been with and no longer with for over several years. And if this person comes to find out that you are passed, they might show up just trying to get your money. So,
Yeah.
in order to avoid that, already have your stuff put down, um, and you'll be okay though. So the
Right.
funeral director I know is very helpful. We tell people
Mhm.
to go there, and also the VA gentleman was very helpful. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he's from the VFW. They will walk
Yeah.
they will walk you through with filling out
Yeah,
forms.
step by step.
Yeah, and so, I tell
So,
people, yeah, strongly utilize that 'cause, family, it's like this. The month of December, I had, not only, my wife's son passed away, I had 2 fraternity brothers who passed away. I had a neighbor, right around the corner from me, was a good lady, she passed away. And so, experienced a lot of, this type of situation. It can be very mentally stressing on a person,
yeah.
and it can be physically and mentally taxing on your loved ones if you do not plan ahead now.
Mhm.
I'm telling people, if you want to
Yeah.
do a New Year's resolution, do this, make this one that I will get my burial stuff situated with, before the end of April. All right. So
Mhm.
get on top of that. And how much are up here? Do they charge you for a copy of the death certificate?
For the autopsy report, I know it was in the county that we live in is it's $50.
Okay.
For the death certificate, it depends how many you want. Um,
Mm,
you would get that from the funeral home, the funeral director, and that was I think it was $25. And they suggest getting 5 copies because
there you go.
you have to let Social Security know and a bunch of other people like banks and
There you
different
go.
financial institutions. So
Mhm.
the death certificate you can get from the funeral director, and the autopsy report comes from the county that you live in.
And what was I thinking? Because you said this. Getting a copy of okay, and so also, and I mentioned to everybody they need to get a copy of your DD 214 and
Hmm.
copies of that.
And if you don't have that, actually the funeral director can get that for you too.
There you go. There you go. See, so instead of running all around, you don't have to do all the running around. Call that
Right.
funeral director. I would say this for the veteran who's still walking the planet. Go to a funeral director. Go talk to them and tell them what you
Hmm.
want and how you want it, because all these burials differ because of religious beliefs.
Right.
So, and some, I tell you, just for the simple fact that cremating your loved ones is less expensive than the other route. But
Right. It
that
is.
depends on what you want to do with your loved one. Because I remember I was talking with some cats that showed up at the apartment complex and was trying to get people to buy in on this cremation program.
Hmm.
Um, I say because me, I'm Buddhist. I claim. Um, so I'm going to be getting cremated. And that's for me. But if you do not get cremated, what's going to happen is cost is going to start going up exponentially.
Hmm.
Now the veterans can help you with so much, like Pat,
Right.
like Susan was saying, in the middle of the night, if this happens, who are you going to get to handle the remains? You know, uh, And then if you get a funeral home to hang on to the full body, they're going to charge you for refrigeration fees daily to keep that body from decomposing. So they're going to be charging for that. You're going to have to pay for a casket. You're going to have to pay for a lot of things, and it can get you up to $10,000 to $20,000
Hmm.
just to bury your loved one. So Vanessa Kitty is in the house. Good morning, good afternoon, beautiful. It's so good to see you, Vanessa. How are you been? How have you been, dear heart? Always good to see you. Shout out for Vanessa. Do I still have my? Uh, Anyway, I'll give that to Vanessa. It's good to see you. And thank you, Susan, for popping up on here and helping us with this. So
You're
we're
welcome.
talking about burials, and we're talking about how it's important for the veteran and the loved ones to. Hi, baby doll. To what are you going to need to take care of your loved ones? I'm on the phone with Susan, and Susan unfortunately had to deal with the passing of her son, and it's never no good for your, your son, your loved ones, your children passing away before you do. But so since
Mhm.
this has occurred, I want you guys to know this is not hard to take care of. Um, signing my purchase agreement to buy a home. I have been in renting. Oh, great news! Oh, good news! Happiness for you, girl. Um, Susan, Vanessa Kitty says
Yeah.
hello.
Oh, hello.
Okay, any YouTube cast? Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Thank you for popping in. I appreciate you guys. So, what we're talking about on here is uh, planning. I want you guys to do this for your New Year's resolution. Um, Oh, yeah, glad you're here too. For your New Year's resolution, try to get that burial taken care of because just like Susan was explaining, is that just because you want to get buried in the military cemetery, it's not going to happen right away with some because it's going to some of them have waiting lists to get into those cemeteries. So you can be like me, be 100% veteran, but if I wait until the last minute to try to get my remains taken care of, I might be sitting on somebody's garage in a urn, waiting to put my stuff away because I didn't plan on yeah, using your VA loan. That's good. Anybody, if you still, especially now, if you want to buy a house, use your VA loan or use your VA benefits to get you in a house. I think the rates are going to go down, but everything else is high as heck. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so let's see. I just stumbled across it. If you hear anything, be back. I'll sub. Oh, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay. Okay. So let me see. Religions, federal way veterans, cemetery areas are on the state level. Yes, that's true. Um, so we want you to just look into it because I've been working with Susan here, and it's been a road to truck, and actually, it's been an interesting journey for me to find out because, like I say, I haven't been taking care of my what's going to happen to me after I leave this planet. So, like we say, DD 214. Talk to if you talk to the VFW, if you especially if you're foreign wars, yeah, don't wait until expired files. You are expired to file. That is so right, Vanessa Kitty. Don't wait because I'm telling you, I'm talking to Susan, and Susan, how has this journey been?
Oh, well, it has been very difficult. It's not something you get over right away, and you certainly don't expect your child to die before you do.
Yeah,
So that's, really a big shock. But,
yeah,
um, just and then trying to take care of all the details and all
mm.
the other family members
That's just,
is very stressful. And so if things are in order before you pass, and it doesn't matter how old you are, young, old, have that in order so that you don't have loved ones scrambling to try and take care of it.
yeah, that's right.
And it's simple to do. Just shop around for a good funeral home or pre-planned funeral company fill out the paperwork. Like I said, you don't have to pay anything at the time you fill out the paperwork. They keep it on file, and when you pass, your loved ones will call them, and they will take care of everything for you.
Yeah.
And also check out funeral homes. There's different prices. Um, it's a pretty competitive market, so you might want to check the different places out too.
Yeah, and Vanessa Kitty said, check your state and one of the federal ones in your region so you can figure out your cost. There you go.
Hmm.
There you go. Because I understand
Yeah.
this, certain certain veterans get certain benefits. You can get your remains flown to another state, and the VA will pay for that. If you're getting his remains shipped to another state for they to be it's a resting place. So that's one of the things. And as it says, yes, shop around for prices if you proceed, if you process for your remains. That's right, for processing your
Yeah.
remains. That's true. So you have to, and like you say, and like Susan's telling you, Vanessa Kitty just said, do it now. Stop waiting for these things to happen because I'm
Right.
telling you, with all the stress your loved ones have to go through, we all have, or we all know one that's going to come looking for money. All right.
Hmm.
And so those are the fleas you have to, make sure you don't let ride your back while you're going through this process. Uh, what is Vanessa said? It says retirees Cambridge C burial. I was wondering if they could shout me out for a summary. Okay, I'm gonna get this. I'm slow, Vanessa Kitty. Okay, so yes, again, let me know, Susan. Is there anything that I missed that you probably want to inform the audience of?
No, I think you pretty much went over everything. Just and nobody really wants to plan their funeral. I
No,
understand that.
yeah,
I mean, it's something that people just naturally put off. But get that done and get your family members to do this planning, and then keep everything in a notebook or on a file in your computer.
yeah.
Um, Let people know, what bank accounts you have and all your personal and financial information. Just keep it in a notebook,
Hmm.
and it's so helpful because there's inheritance or bank accounts that need to be closed, and
Yep, your job
um,
needs to be informed.
hmm
If you have a
yep,
life insurance or any kind of
right.
policy
Life insurance,
at your job.
through work, they can handle that for you.
Mhm.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, just be prepared. Have a family notebook with all that information in it.
Any outcast says, my dad literally has a folder full of information set aside for me for after his death.
Hmm.
Getting things in order now can be very helpful. I was a
Right.
mess and not sure how I would have managed without it. Thank you so much for saying that. Any outcast, that is so helpful and important too. Just
Yeah.
like what Susan just said too. Yeah.
Hmm.
And Vanessa Kitty says, yes, I have one folder with every piece of vital paperwork needed. There you go. These are
Right.
people, and anybody out there who hasn't, take some of these words of wisdom here, because it's, I'm telling you, um, I had a neighbor who passed away, and then people started showing up to see what they can keep of her personal belongings, and they never seen her in years. So
Yeah.
this is one of the things you want to avoid too. And I hate to use it like this, but this is like this. Just like you plan when your wife was pregnant, you're gonna have the baby. You said, okay, we know we talked to the doctor, we know we got the phone number, we know what we need, we got the bag ready, we got all this stuff ready. So when that time comes, we can go straight to the hospital and everything will be done. So kind of look at
Hmm.
it on the exit route as the same way. Get
Right.
all that stuff looked
Exactly.
at. And like Vanessa Kitty said, DD 214, special order
Hmm.
for medical retirees. retirement, actually special orders state wartime service, etc. Yeah, and like
Mhm.
Susan was saying, if you talk to the funeral director, they can help you with getting a DD 214 if your loved one did not leave that accessible for you. Okay, but
Right.
as you hear from Susan, you hear a lot of stuff that she had to learn kind of like the hard way because this wasn't done. And there's no
Mhm.
disrespect to the son because look at me. I haven't did it yet as well. Then I need to do it, and I'm glad that Outcast said that, and Vanessa Kitty as well as
Mhm.
Susan has said this. So this is why I want you to be very cognizant of this. This has been a very challenging start of the year, but
Right.
I'm going to stay optimistic about it. And things are,
Mhm.
stuff. It's going to happen. One of these days, we all going to have to take it there. But
Right.
I wanted you guys to come up, and I apologize for missing it in action for quite some time. A lot of things have been occurring, and boy, I'm getting my studio back together, and we'll be getting up more. But I always talk to you guys about things that have experienced. Let's see. Don't forget things like access codes, pins. Oh, right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Any outcast, you're
Password.
right. You're right. Passwords to computers, access
Mhm.
codes to bank accounts, all that.
Mhm.
And matter of fact, I'm glad you said that. Any UCAS, yeah. Any UCAS. I'm glad you said that because a power of attorney. All right.
Mhm.
Say if you do have your loved one, your son or your daughter you left behind, you want to have power of attorney to whom? So that's one thing you have to look at as well, because and say just cancel this cable was a nightmare. And they refused.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said just cancel this cable. Trying to cancel this cable was a nightmare, and they refused to cancel it. I'm not laughing because that is funny, but it's not. And that's just cable company. That's just cable
Yeah.
company. And we're not talking about going to the job, and saying, "Hey, um, here's the death certificate. He passed
Yeah.
away. What do we need to do?" So that should be handled as well, right? And thank you for saying that.
Mhm.
Any outcast, you said that so right. Yes, these companies are hard to do anything with, to do anything to get the phone and cable and electric turned off. Yes.
Mhm.
Uh, this is so true. To get this stuff done. Um, yes. And so you see what everybody's saying. We're all pretty much in agreement. Since if this is not taking care of veterans, and this is why I say to the veteran, um, I, I was a drill instructor. I met people who were special forces, rangers. I met Navy SEALs. But my thing is, when you get out of active duty, your job is not done there. You have to take care of your loved ones, your family members, and take care of you. And if you get out of the military and you stop doing that, I don't care what branch, I don't care what you achieve. You need to look at some serious help of getting that mental stability right. Look, I have a psychiatrist, and hey, I'd rather have a psychiatrist and be trying to get my stuff right than sitting here letting everything go to shit, pardon my lack of vernacular, and leave that up to my loved ones to determine what's going to happen. Now, check this out. Say if you do pass away and you didn't leave a guardianship to your kids, who's it going to go back to? Probably to the fraternity mother. And she probably ain't worth a drop of crap. And you're going to let your kid go back to a situation that you don't want that to happen to. So you need to get that in order too if you don't have that right. Who's going to be the guardian of your kids in case something happened to you?
Right.
IMO, if you don't want to donate your stuff to the state, get some good paperwork. That is so true. That is very true. If you do not have a will, and if you
Mhm.
do not have somebody who's going to put your remains to rest, the state's going to take everything they want and throw out the rest. That's real talk. Thank you for that. Any UCAS, any outcast, just appreciate that. And as a kid, say healthcare is very critical and important to survival. Exactly. And your loved
Mhm.
ones depend upon you to keep yourself healthy. If you have children who are under the age of 15 and you don't look out for them after you pass away, you're going to put them in a disarray, a situation. Say if you pass away and don't have it happening and you don't have a significant other or anyone to take your kids, the state's going to take them. Think about that. Is that what you really want? I don't think so. So, what is it? If you went through all the Ranger training, all the SEAL training, all the Special Force training, all the drill instructor training, and you can't keep your shit together once you depart the military, I'm gonna give you a hard time about it. I'm gonna love you, but I'm gonna give you a hard time about it because I love you by giving you a hard time about it. Get on top of it so it doesn't get on top of you. Closing for the home should be the end of March. Congratulations. I'm immediately making my will to grant everything to my brother. See, there you go, Vanessa Kitty. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. And this is what we got to do. And honestly, I got to sit down and do it myself. I got to take some people off who I had on not too long ago. Well, a while back ago, I got to get them off so I can get my current people on point. So if anything happens to me, they're going to be good to go. Okay, family. Again, this is your man, the Seattle Black veteran. You can call me David if you want to. I'm always going to try to be here for you. And like I said, we're going to come and give you everything from experience. Okay. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't work for a lawyer. I'm not a paralegal. I don't know anything from the VA. I don't work for the VA. I'm giving you from the Seattle Black veterans perspective. And this is what I say to each and every one. Your journey is your journey. I can only try to help you with your journey, but it's going to be up to you to walk through those doors. That is your journey. Everybody who has or is receiving a disability, we all will tell you mine is different from yours, but we're all trying to get to 100%, or we're trying to get the best benefits that we are entitled to. Primary care asks if you want to elect your wheelchair prescription, if you want to elect your wheelchair prescription in October, right on. And this is when you stay in touch with your primary care doctor, and especially those out there with diabetes, you can get glasses, shoes, you can get all that taken care of. Make sure you stay in touch with your primary care doctor. Those are the ones who's going to actually help pushing paperwork forward for you to get what you need to get. All right. And just always be honest with yourself and be honest with your family and understand we all need help. Nobody's out there. I can't, what do you say? I get by with a little help from my friends. I get by with helping you and you helping me and us helping each other. Okay. So stay on top of that. And Susan, I want to thank you so much for coming
You're
up here
welcome.
and actually, letting people know your story. Is there anything
Mhm.
else you want to say before you start wrapping this up?
Just what we talked about before. I think the most important thing is to get that pre-funeral planning paperwork done,
Okay, right on.
and that then your family will not have to stress about
And
trying to find the appropriate
y-
agencies to do what they need to do.
yeah, and also a will, a will.
A will is for sure.
Yeah,
You need to get that done.
now I'm reading what Vanessa Kitty was saying. I recommend leaving instructions as well for the people you're leaving things to. Often they
Hmm.
ask attorneys. There you go, and they want
Yeah.
everyone liquidated so they can get a bigger cut, and you and your family
Hmm.
members get there. Okay, but that's true. Get the attorney. If you
Right.
haven't got it, get a will and get that.
Yeah, you can get a paralegal to do a will if you have a simple will uh,
Exactly.
to do, but because otherwise your belongings and possessions will go into probate,
Yeah, and you
and
don't.
that's going to be a lot of money for your family.
That is, and I'm telling you, we are trying to build. We want each and every one of you veterans to build generational wealth, and that's like Vanessa was talking about using your VA stuff to get you into a home. Have you somebody's going to be backed up who's going to take over your home if something happens to you, like Vanessa, Kitty, and Susan was saying. Leave instructions for the particular people, along with a will. and it'll get that stuff taken care of. I just want each and every one of you to look out for yourselves and know that the Seattle Black Veteran is going to try to look out for you as much as possible. And any information that flies across my wings, I will try to put them down and get those information to you. So at least it gives you something to ponder about, and it's nothing negative to ponder about. It's positive. So when something happens, I always say this. Now here's my funny part. Um, Pretty much I've been flying a lot solo, and that's because I have a lot on my plate to do. But I say whenever anything happens to me, I know who's who, and I know who is not going to be involved into this stratosphere when if I pass away. So this is one thing, I always say that in case I win the lottery, I don't have to worry Great information to know for everyone. It's a sad thing to get. It's so difficult with death. You are so right. Any outcast, you are so right. And I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you've been saying, you and Vanessa Kitty, and especially you, Susan, for coming up. I am going to get off of here, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I'm pushing an hour. I need to start pushing more on this here, but I only do it because I have something I have to say. And I don't want you to go through and experience these things because I tell veterans all the time, and I know it's hard. It's hard just to get 10% benefits, just to get 30, 40, 60% benefit. I know it's hard, and you have to watch your back when you're going into those C&P claims and pension exams. All right. And I know it's hard when now that the new administration is cutting up on a lot of this sources out here, you're going to have to get your ear to the ground so you can hear what's going on and how it can help you. Everything that I'm informing you with, it might not all be for you. And maybe some of it is. What do they say? Chew the meat, spit out the bones, right? So it's just taking care of yourselves. And it makes me extremely elated is when I hear that you guys are getting benefits for something that I can offer you. That is so important to me, and I appreciate you. All right. Okay, Susan, I'm gonna let you go, dear heart. I appreciate you very much, and I will see you shortly. Kiddo.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, Susan. Okay, Vanessa Kitty out any YouTube, any UCast. I appreciate you. I appreciate you both. Thank you for showing up. I really hope and I wish the best for you. God bless, and we will talk to you soon. Take great care, guys. I am the Seattle Black Veteran, and I am ending this. Take care.